Hello, one and all. This is Baka&Co, a show where we talk about all things anime and manga, from news to reviews and everything in between. I am your host, Frankfurter, and with me is my co-host, the marvelously average one, Magically Average. Today we are. This is the laziest fucking name I've ever given to you.
That's a little lazy. That's okay.
It's
That's all right.
okay. Today we're going to talk about the Studio Ghibli Park, or Ghibli, whichever one you want to pronounce it as, having its grand opening, and Chainsaw Man being back, and more. But before that, Magically Average, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, surprisingly enough, even for a Monday.
Good.
Not a lot to complain about.
Very
Watched
nice.
some anime, read some manga, just
You
living the
actually
dream.
watched anime?
I did.
What?
I
And
did.
you
I
actually
know.
read some manga?
I can
Who
read. Yeah.
are you?
I don't know.
I
I'm
don't
a
even know
changed
you anymore.
I'm a changed man.
Oh, loud.
I know. It's scary times we live in. But yeah, things are
Frightening,
going
one would
well.
say. Well, good.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's terrifying yet still, it's got its promising moments. That is my life, so trying to keep my head held up high.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. But yeah, as you know, I'm tired as ever living shit. I fucked up my sleep schedule this weekend, so
Yeah.
I saved any and all energy I have for this show today. So we're gonna get through this one, whether we stumble or not. We are gonna stumble a lot, and
Yeah.
so
Some
let's
early
get.
morning Discord messages really left me worried. I was like, I don't know if it's gonna happen today
I
or
know, it's like, are we
tomorrow even.
recording today or tomorrow? And I almost postponed it, but I was like, no, fuck it, we're doing it today. It's fine. We got
Yeah.
to get this out. It's okay.
This is
But
when it's the
let's.
most enjoyable.
It
When
is.
you're
It's
half
this is
lucid.
you're gonna get fucking loopy ass Frank today, and it's gonna be something.
The best.
Oh boy. News story number one: Studio Ghibli, or Ghibli, whichever one you want to say, Park is opening on November 1st in Tokyo, Japan. This is a special preview event for select people. Will be held throughout October. So if you're lucky, you can like if you're lucky and get chosen through a lottery system, you can preview the park in, I think, some, not all of its zones, but most of the zones that they have planned. Just
Yeah.
because it'll be a preview and they don't want to, like,
I think
give it all away.
they let you pick one of the zones that are in the preview. So you only get to pick one. But
Gotcha.
there's like they have a select few where they're like, here are the zones you can choose from. It looks
Yes.
fantastic though. I saw some of the images from like what they were building, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my gosh, that is on the bucket list now for sure.
Oh yeah, but the only downside is you have to be living in the Ichi prefecture in order to get into
Now,
the park, or even at least I think that's is. I wonder if that's
just
for the lottery system or if that's for
yeah,
the opening, like
yeah.
in
That's
general.
just for the preview event.
Okay.
So thankfully it'll be open to. I mean, once Japan's borders, I think Japan's borders are fully open at this time of our recording. I think
I think
people would
there's
just
still some restrictions, but
they
maybe
require a visa, like
working
of
visa or
some
something.
sorts. I don't know. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not like fully open like it used to be pre COVID pandemic, but it is opening to foreign travel, which is great news. But yeah, it's I can imagine it's just going to be packed the
Yeah.
moment that it's open. I mean, that
Mhm.
Studio Ghibli again, however you pronounce it, um, is one of the most beloved studios in Japan. I mean, even like I would argue around the world too. I mean, they make
Yeah.
of some of the most iconic animated films of all time.
Yeah, I was actually I was gonna segue us into what's your history with Studio Ghibli. Like what's your favorite movie? When did you start watching them, etc., etc.
I don't know when I started watching them. It's really weird. Like Studio Ghibli was one of the like whenever I heard of I was like, "Oh, it's like for kids movies, like Japanese, like it's like the equivalent of like Pixar and Disney here where they make like kids movies. Like that's the
Yeah,
equivalent in Japan." So I was like, "Meh, meh." And I think it wasn't really until I got into undergrad where I started watching more of them. Like I had seen Howl's Moving Castle and Spirited Away, I think when I was in like middle school or like junior high and high school. But I had a friend who was big into film and had all the Ghibli, and he was like, "I'm going to watch all of them in the
yeah,
span of like 2 weeks." And I'm like, I might join for a few. So I watched Princess Mononoke. I watched My Neighbor Totoro at that time too, because that was the first time I'd seen that. Rewatched Spirited Away and Howl's
I have
Moving
a feeling
Castle.
you saw the, in my opinion, lesser version of My Neighbor Totoro, the Disney dub version.
I can't remember. Well, so what my fiance and I are doing is we're going to all of the Ghibli Fest movies when they do the screenings, the special screenings in the United States.
They do
So
that.
like,
Just a heads up, they do that every year, but they change up
yeah,
what movies they show every year.
yep, yeah. So we've currently knocked out My Neighbor Totoro and Ponyo. Next is Kiki's Delivery Service. Ponyo, Ponyo, Ponyo,
Kiki's
Ponyo.
is very, very good. Like, it's
It is.
criminally underrated for like okay, no, I can go into that later. It's a very good movie if you've not seen it.
Again, it's one of those ones where I think I've seen it forever ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in terms of favorite, I think the one that stands out the most is Spirited Away. It's just I like the aesthetics of the entire movie. I like how creepy it is too. It's very disarming too at times where you're like, "Oh, it's kind of cute." And then in this second it's like, "Oh, this is terrifying nightmare fuel." Like just out of nowhere. Like, okay, cool. So it's that sort of range of feelings watching it. I'm like, this is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of stretches the idea of what you'd think of, especially, being growing up on like Disney and Pixar, like what you'd imagine like a children's quote unquote children's movie to be like. But then again, I watched The Brave Little Toaster when I was younger, and that fucking scarred the shit out of me too.
That
So
movie's fantastic, don't you?
oh no, it's wonderful.
Good,
It's one of
good,
my
good, good.
favorites. The Brave Little Toaster and Fern Gully were some of my favorite films growing up, but they traumatized me for the first time I watched it. There are some graphic, not I mean like children's movies
Yeah.
graphic, but like there are some scenes where you watch it now, you're like, oh my god, a small child should not be viewing this. This is
Yeah.
horrendous.
Yeah, no, I understand that. A little brief, I guess, synopsis of my history and my favorite. History with it, I've really been watching these movies ever since I can really remember. It all started with My Neighbor Totoro. I believe the reason why me and my older sister watched them when we were so young is that my dad's brother, or my uncle, he lived in Japan, worked in Japan when I was really young, and I forget what exactly he did, who exactly he worked for. I know he worked with computers and he was doing coding and whatnot. But he would tell my parents like, "Hey, this is like all the rage over here. Like, if you want to, like, this is the titles. Like, go find them or whatever." And they found the movies, bought them, and we watched them. So I grew up with really just My Neighbor Totoro. Me and my older sister, we would watch that movie fucking nonstop, and it was the Fox dub of it. Which, if you don't know what the difference between the Fox dub and the Disney dub, Disney bought the rights of distribution in like the early 2000s, if not 2000, and any movie that had already come out, they redubbed and threw it out there, except for maybe Nausicaa: The Valley of the Wind, potentially. I don't remember, but infamously though, there was a Fox Entertainment dub of the movie, which was on VHS and briefly DVD, and then Disney redubbed it with the Fanning sisters and re-released it, etc. So it that's like that movie and Castle in the Sky. Sorry, I forgot all, like, Castle in the Sky first. I don't know how the fuck I forgot that train of thought. I guess because my mind was on My Neighbor Totoro and the Fox dub, but Castle in the Sky is by far my favorite. It's the one that I've been watching the longest, as well as, My Neighbor Totoro. But Castle in the Sky is just one of those movies that I've been watching since a kid. It still holds up to me. Every twist and turn and music beat, story beat, everything about that movie is just perfection to me, and it's just my favorite. Nothing beats it, and I know that it's not by any means like it taking a step back, taking off the rose tinted glasses. Like, that movie is objectively not very. It's not the greatest. It's just a classic. Like, it's just a good film. It's not the greatest, but to me, put those rose tinted glasses on, it's definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
So I know that, like, me and my siblings, when we've made our dream trips to Japan, or like made our like plans of a dream trip to Japan, it's always included going to see Studio Ghibli. I'm just gonna say both of them just so I don't offend
Yeah, no,
half the
I like
audience.
that. I like saying them both, like Ghibli, like backslash Ghibli. I think that's the
Yeah.
appropriate way to do it.
So it's just one of those things that it's like this opening up is just like this gives me even more incentive to just like get your ass to fucking Japan and go visit. Like this is something I really want to go visit. So and I
Yeah.
know this is something that you want to go visit as well,
I
being a huge nerd as you are.
Oh yeah, I had the luxury. I'm gonna go off on a small tangent. I had the luxury of going to Japan when I was in law school for a study abroad, and I went to like a very small Ghibli, like it was licensed Ghibli, so it was owned and operated by that organization. One of their stores in Kyoto, and I was just like, the entire store stood out from the rest of the shopping district.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything else was like very traditional. The traditional style buildings that you would see like in pictures of of Kyoto, since it is very like old world meets new world. But then you like round a corner and the Ghibli store is just like rocks with moss on it and like a tree and like lights
Mm-hmm.
everywhere and like all this different other like fauna and
Very kind
flora
of
and stuff like that.
natural.
Yeah, it was really cool how they set it up, and just walking in, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" It's like you're honestly like just that little store transported into another world, and it was so amazing. So I can only imagine what they're doing with this park, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be incredible. It's again for sure on my bucket list when I go back to Japan, which I'm actually fingers crossed if everything plays out right. We're my fiance and I, when we get married next April, we'll be going for our honeymoon. So might have to look at tickets unless they're astronomically expensive, which
You
probably will be.
probably have to sit on a wait list if you don't get them in time, like
Yeah,
the
that
day and
too.
date that they go up. But
Yeah.
that is neither here nor there. But what is here now is Chainsaw Man. He is
It's almost, well, yeah.
back, baby.
Yes. In manga form. Still waiting for that
Yes.
sexy man to get animated
Yes,
fully.
Chainsaw Man Chapter 1 of Part 2, the manga dropped on Shonen Jump this past Tuesday and fucking crashed the entire app.
Did
It
it?
was, oh, absolutely. Like, I saw the
Oh.
notification that it went live. I was like, hell yeah. And I kept getting like 749 errors, like, try back later. I was like, what if I
Oh, that's
tried
hilarious.
downloading it? So I, like, eventually, like, after clicking the download button a couple times on my phone, I was able to download it so I didn't have that error anymore. So yeah, it fucking crashed the Shonen Jump app. Actually,
Not surprised though.
the Shonen Jump app actually crashed a little bit this morning because they did not release their Sunday chapters yesterday. They released them today. I forget what the reasoning was for that. But Chainsaw Man is back. Holy fucking shit. Chapter 1 of this was insane.
Dad
So
came back with a vengeance.
fucking good. And like it's not just me gloating about it, there are numbers to it. According to NPD Bookscan's monthly top 20 for adult graphic novels, Chainsaw Man number volume 11, which is the last one of part 1, is sitting comfortably on top, followed by Spy Family volume 1 and Jujutsu Kaisen volume 16. Excuse me, I had to like burp in the middle of that and I got like a hiccup. It was weird.
It's enough,
Um
yeah. We just roll
yeah,
with it.
they just roll with it. But I mean, do we want to go into spoilers about this chapter or not?
No, only because I just I don't know if there's too much to spoil, so much so that it's like there's like these weird like quirky bits about it that I saw on social media before I had fully read it. And I'm like, what the fuck are people talking about? And I read it and I was like, no, okay, that's what they were talking about. Um, but I mean, like what we can say is it's it's the same feel from the original. I mean, it starts off hot and heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no like small little segue into part 2. It is like you're just thrown back into the thick of it. But I will say it's strange how how he started it. Like the perspective
Because
for
he started in the
this
perspective of like the
a
quote
new
unquote.
a new character.
Well, yeah, the new character, but also just like what they transformed to be.
Right, exactly. So I mean, because before with the part 1, there wasn't so much like misdirection in terms of like what's like who's the bad person and what's happening and yada yada yada. Like it was kind of laid out. Like there were obviously the twists and turns and the holy shit moments, but it was pretty much at the beginning. It's like, okay, you're gonna kill devils. It's like, sweet. This one, it's like, oh, you have like a first chapter. You have an immediate nemesis of like, ah, cool. We're setting it up from their perspective, and now we get to see how Denji's gonna react to it. Like it's just an interesting way to begin part 2, especially with the way how part 1 ended. But I don't know. We don't have to say too much more than that for those of you who are not caught up and are still reading through it or waiting for the anime to come out or whatever it might be. But just know that it is just as bloody and gory and fucking insane as the first part.
If not, maybe even a little bit more. But
yeah, I mean, and the insanity level did kind of get raised there for a bit, huh?
Yeah, just a wee bit. If we're not going to get into spoilers, I don't want to say too much about it because there's a lot I would like to not necessarily would like to discuss, but there's a lot of talking points about this, theories into the future of what could be coming, etc., etc. So I don't want to talk too much about it. Just know Chainsaw Man is back. So every Tuesday, I believe, watch out for Twitter spoilers because God knows people are going to be out there just posting screenshots and everything else.
Yes.
So, yeah,
be weary.
Just be weary on a Tuesday morning because it's going to happen. Yeah, it's definitely Tuesday because I just looked it up. Next chapter comes out in 14 hours of recording, as of recording this. So, actually, probably 13 hours if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, it's back. It's great. It's bloody. It's everything you wanted and more. So if you like part 1, you'll definitely like the intro to part 2 for sure. Still no news on the anime, but that will more than likely come at the beginning of August at Crunchyroll Expo. Yep. But yeah, moving straight along, we are going to get into news story number 3. Netflix has announced 3 of its main cast members for the live-action Yu Yu Hakusho adaptation. Now, before we really get into this and talk about the cast, let me announce the cast members, what they've worked on before, and then we can just hop into this. Yusuke Urameshi is going to be played by Takumi Kitamaru, who's also in the live-action adaptations of Tokyo Revengers, Let Me Eat Your Pancreas, Love Me, Love Me Not. And then playing Kurama is going to be Jun Shison, who played the voice of Hibiki in Bubble, which was an animated film, not live action. And then I don't know if this was the live action or if it's a movie that's coming out. I'm not quite sure. But The Way of the House Husband, the movie. So
I believe it's live action. I have a strong feeling.
Nothing popped up when I did my initial Google search of live action Way of the House Husband except for the old trailer that we watched.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know if that's going to be live action or if that's just going to be more anime from Netflix. I say anime in quotes, but and then playing Hiei, which was just announced today, is going to be Kanata Hongo, who was Armin in Attack on Titan and Envy in Full Metal Alchemist, which, to much your chagrin and much my pleasure down memory lane, I actually watched the 2 Attack on Titan live-action movies. They were phenomenally bad. Like, the type of so bad that this is great. It's so bad. Like, and it wasn't just like, oh, yeah, I watched them here or there, or I rented the movies. No, I went to go see them in theaters with a friend at the time, and just...
Oh, you sad man.
But the thing is, we had to drive like a solid 20 minutes to go find a theater that actually had the movie. Because like at the time you got to think
20 minutes.
These movies came out probably
2015.
Yeah. No, that sounds about right. So that was right before season 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, just about, because 2015.
So it's like you're riding that high of just like, season 1 was great. Let's go watch these really just crummy movies. They can't be that bad. They were that bad. They're great. They're that bad. I just hope that this Netflix adaptation of Yu Yu Hakusho is not that bad, but God knows it probably will be. But from the way, like, I read a few articles and the way they were phrased, it doesn't sound like that this season will touch at all or even approach the Dark Rose tournament. Which thank the fucking Lord, because God, I'm like very, very, very casually watching Yu Yu Hakusho, and I finally finished the Dark Rose tournament. Which, if you've kept up with this podcast at all, tried watching that tournament arc like 5 different times. So this is the first time I've actually finished it. And as soon as I finished it, I stopped watching. I have yet to go back really. Like, I started the next arc and I just like haven't really continued watching it. So I this like why Netflix? This doesn't need to happen. It doesn't. Like
I don't. It's funny too. Like Yu Yu Hakusho was never never an anime that I got into growing up, and I still haven't watched it to this day. But even as someone who hasn't watched it, I feel like it's one of the older anime that not a lot of people ask to bring back. Like, there's not a lot of like,
nobody
we
wants
want
them
more.
to bring it back. It's fine as it is.
Yeah, like I don't hear. There's not mobs of people in the streets screaming like, "We want more Yu Yu Hakusho." There's no like billboards being put up requesting it. Like, I'm just more shocked at the fact that whoever decided to do the live action adaptation was like, you know what show we want? You know what anime we should bring back from the dead? Fucking Yu Yu Hakusho. Maybe because there is such a big following, maybe because it is kind of like one of those classics that people think back on, but like it to me, live action's always been a just train wreck when it came to anime. So I feel like they're going to create more enemies in the fans than they are going to be like new fans or those that will appreciate it, because I don't see them doing this well. I don't see any studio doing live action stuff well. Name me one live action that's been good.
Very controversial take here. I actually really enjoyed
Cowboy
Cowboy
Bebop.
Bebop.
Yeah, but in fairness, that wasn't like a 1-for-1 adaptation, right? It was like
it was a different retelling of the series.
Yeah, it seemed to be more like an homage to it, right? Than anything else. So maybe that's what they'll do with Yu Yu Hakusho, and maybe it'll generate that same sort of like, if you're a real fan, like, you know, you can appreciate it, but if you're just like a casual, you'd be like, this is garbage because it doesn't do anything, it doesn't build on anything that was in the original or whatever. It's a poor retelling of the story. Whatever the case may be, I don't understand the live action stuff. I've never really been a huge fan of it to begin with. So for them to do this one, it just kind of is shocking.
Yeah, and it seems like really they've only covered any of the classics, like Netflix, that is. I try to look up what are the best, like, or what are the Netflix anime adaptations other than Death Note and Cowboy Bebop, because I wasn't sure if there's anything else that was technically out. There's 4 more, I suppose. You have the
There's a Bleach
live
one,
action
right?
Full Metal Alchemist. You have live action Bleach.
Yeah.
And then you have 2 Rurouni Kenshin movies.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Which we don't talk about those.
No, we don't talk about Rurouni Kenshin here.
No.
But I will say the one anime done well, live action ish movie would be Alita Battle Angel. That was fantastic.
That was.
Did you?
But that
watch
was
it?
like, I did not. But that one was heavily CGI'd too, right?
Yeah, it was I think
like,
the main character was heavily CGI'd, but a lot of the like other cast was live action. Regardless, it was still a very, very good movie. If you haven't watched it, I would definitely go see it.
I would argue the best live action is the Scooby-Doo movies. But that's just me.
You're not wrong, but you're also not right.
Wrong. Yeah.
Because the Shrek live action play,
no, we're not talking. No, move on. What are we talking about next, Frank? Stop. Jesus.
Oh boy. All right. Next, God, I'm sorry. I
Collect
can't.
yourself.
I can't.
Shrek has invaded this podcast, and now we can't get rid of him. Oh
He's
fuck!
like an onion. He's like an onion. He's got
Stop!
layers.
Stop! I'm gonna jump through my screen
We've
and
got more
strangle you.
layers. We've got more layers, meaning dates and announcements for you this week. We've got. I feel like this is also just like we were like, okay. I feel like it's Anime Expo. We're gonna get like a few we're gonna get more announcements than usual. I feel like this is just gonna be a weekly thing where there's just gonna be a lot of announcements. If we're gonna cover everything anime and manga, there's gonna be a decent amount of announcements and dates.
Yeah. I every time we go through this and we're setting up the new dates and announcements, I'm like, Frank, that's good. Frank, that's enough. Frank, this list is long. And Frank's like, hang on, there's more. I'm like, oh God, no, there can't be. This is so many announcements.
But there
like
is.
every week there's just tens of almost, it feels like just hundreds of thousands of announcements of new stuff. It's crazy.
So let's get into them, and then we could talk about any of them if you want.
Let's hop into the craziness.
New dates and announcements. Stage S and Kiruru Kill manga go on hiatus. The Kiruru Kill manga, they didn't give a reason as to why, but Stage S, I believe, was due to the author's health, and that should be returning next week, if I'm not mistaken. So there's that. Golgo 13 manga hits 300 million copies in circulation, which is fucking insane. They have 205 volumes of this goddamn freaking manga, and it's congrats.
Yeah,
that's over. Yeah. That's over. What? 10 million per copy? Is my math wrong? No, my math's way wrong. I don't know what.
It's like they're like at a million, right around a little over a million a volume. So that's pretty good. Yeah. Well, I was gonna make the comment though, because for those like myself that don't know what the hell Golgo 13 it is, it's okay because it's been serialized since 1968. So this fucking series has been going on for like what, 1968? So 54 years.
Something.
That's crazy.
1968, you said?
Yeah, 54 years, right? I did math right.
Checks.
Whatever. We're not good at math today. It's or ever really. But yeah, no. I mean, this is. Like everyone rags on One Piece, like, oh, it's going on forever, it's never going to end. Which, mind you, if you didn't hear the news, it will be ending soon. The author did come out and say that.
By soon, it's going to be like 2 years at minimum.
Well, I'm sorry for the derail, but I have to just say this real quick about One Piece. I saw a hilarious comment that someone made, and they were like, "So you're telling me that we've been on a 1,000-episode side story for the last X amount of years? Are you shitting me?" And I was like, oh my God, they're not wrong.
They're really a little wrong.
Oh yeah, no, I know. They're not, they're very much wrong, but it's just funny to imagine because the author made a statement in like the One Piece site or wherever he posted, it might have been on his personal, but that they're finally going to be concluding the One Piece arc, like the original, like what was originally started off with Luffy and finding the treasure of, the One Piece treasure.
His papa's treasure.
Yes, exactly. For those of you who haven't watched it, and spoiler.
It's like
I know it's widely
chapter.
I know. But who knows? People might not have read it. I read it when it came out. But yeah, it was just they're finally going to be concluding. It's going to end. There is finally going to be closure. But it was just funny when someone was like, this has been 1,000 episode side quest? Are you shitting my dick? So I was just like, I mean, it's over 1,000 episodes already. Just, I mean, if you're this far in, you might as well just watch it till the end, bud.
Yep. What's another 300 episodes? Anywho, this one caught my eye, and I'm actually like, this is one of those like one episode, see how it is and drop or keep watching it. Caught between a Yuri relationship, my life after I became a dummy head microphone one morning will premiere this October.
Prepare yourself for it. It's coming out. Be prepared. Yeah,
this one caught my eye. This is such a dumb but great title. It's just ASMR. It's just high school girl ASMR.
Yeah, so that's what it's built around. It's like it's an ASMR
But
anime.
a
So for
but
all
a
of you
but a
who
man
who
but a man was reincarnated into a fucking dummy head microphone that they do this ASMR into. So
yeah,
it's just
so
like
like
his internal monologue as they're doing like whisper, 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 crunch, crunch, crunch,
oh god, please no crunch.
lapping
Please
noise, lapping noise, lapping
what's
noise.
what's the mukbang? Isn't that what like when you're eating?
Yeah, when you're
Like muck
eating,
oh
yeah.
god, please don't do anything with that with ASMR. But like this is for all of you who love ASMR, who love throwing on your noise canceling headphones and just feeling the reverberation of some dude licking your ear hole. This is the anime for you because I I don't know
Except
how to react to it other than just to be like I know I'm gonna feel uncomfortable. It's gonna
except
be
it's not a
very weird.
it's not a dude, it's high school girls. But
Oh, it's
anywho,
yeah. It's a bajillion high school girls and this one guy who, again, gets fucking reincarnated into
you
a
know what?
an inanimate object. This is how crazy the
Hey,
reincarnated.
hey, hey, hey. No, no, no. We're not going to go there because one of the bigger shows next season, which I guarantee you you will watch at least an episode, is I got reincarnated into a sword or some shit like that. I forget what it
Oh
is.
yeah, reincarnated as a
Don't
sword.
you say, "Oh,
No,
inanimate
I know,
objects,
I
my
know.
ass."
No,
Like,
I know.
don't
They've been
you?
doing shit like that. I no, I
I'm
know, but it's
watching you,
more. It's
Buster.
they're just next time it's gonna be like reincarnated as a bidet in the high school girls' bathroom. Like it's like they're just gonna be crazier and crazier. My, my life
That'll sell
flushing out people's
gangbusters. Get on it.
assholes.
It's our idea.
Yeah, trademark, copyright, whatever we need to do.
God. This one, yeah, this is one of those watch one episode just to say you did it and then just move on.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny. Anyway, moving on.
Watch us carry it on, and it ends up being like our third, like in the top 5 for fall.
It's anime of the year. What are you talking about?
Oh
Anywho,
god, no.
moving on. A girl me no. I am just
We'll have to do every episode really close to the mic and make it really sensual.
Oh,
Yeah, really.
please no.
Oh
My
god,
ears,
stop.
my ears. Oh,
Yeah,
that's God. A girl meets a boy and a robot. Animated short, directed by Cowboy Bebop's Junichiro Watanabe. Premieres July 23rd for Fantasia Film Festival in China, I believe. This is like a short and a short animated short at a Chinese festival or Chinese tale. I can't remember. I kind of just saw it. I was like, cool, let's put it in. But that's pretty neat. I don't know how much else Junichiro Watanabe's done. So
I'm hoping a
that's
ton.
pretty
I mean,
yeah.
Cowboy Bebop's, Cowboy Bebop's pretty popular, I would think, you know?
It's just
Pretty well known.
slightly popular.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't
Yeah.
know. But anywho, moving on. That time I got reincarnated into a slime. The movie comes out November 25th in Japan. Looking forward to that. I don't know if that's like a retelling of season 1 or if that's gonna be like a continuation. I think it's a continuation if I'm not mistaken.
Weird. Wait, so it's gonna be like it's gonna be
Like
canonical?
bridges the 2 seasons, like the next
Oh,
type
okay.
deal. I don't remember. I'd have to look that up. That's on me for not doing that and bringing up that subject. So we're just gonna move this.
Who
fuck
on you?
Crunchyroll has begun streaming the first 2 dubbed episodes of the Ancient Magus Bride. Sorry, I always want to say Magnus. Magus Bride. Yeah, the boy from the west and the night of the east and the night of the blue storm OAD, which I think is original animation DVDs. So that's pretty neat. That's like one of those shows that I watched like the first 2 OVAs that like set up the show. Thought it was the most gorgeous thing ever, and was super excited for the anime to come out. I was like, I'm gonna wait for this all to come out and then I'll binge it, and never did. So that's still sitting in my bucket list of things to watch. But
Says
whatever.
the man who's just hit over 250 watched shows or seasons on my anime list.
You know what? I'm at 254 now, I think, after watching
Cheesy
Bleach,
Pete's.
which God damn, dude. Anywho, we can get into that later.
That's another story. That's another story for another time.
Anywho, The Little Lies We All Tell will air in October. This actually is probably the most intriguing one to me. Looking at the poster and seeing the synopsis for this is like really fucking cool. It's like I don't know if they're schoolgirls, but 4 girls that basically live out their everyday lives, and then after school they have their like secret lives that they all have that are kind of mysterious or fucked up or whatever. Like I think one is like an assassin, one's like in an art like underground art. I don't know. Just from the poster alone, it looks fucking awesome. But yeah, that will air in October. Looking forward to that. High Speed Atoli. How the
It's a
fuck do you
French word.
pronounce that?
Étroit.
Étoile? Étroit.
I
And
believe if my French is correct, I think étroit is star, but I'm probably wrong.
Well, it's an original Super Formula racing series. That's been announced. No word
Hey,
on when that
Tim
comes
will like
out.
that.
Tim will like
Here's
that.
a show
That
for
he
you,
will.
Tim, if you're listening or watching.
Nah, never.
No, he
Except,
doesn't.
yes, he's a good lad. He always does. Anywho, the Netflix show Sex Education is getting a manga series, which is really interesting. Spy Classroom, not to be confused with Classroom. Wait, no, not Classroom of the Elite, and not
Spy Family.
Not Assassination Classroom, but
Or
Spy
Spy Family.
Classroom or Spy Family. Spy Classroom is getting an anime and it'll premiere in 2023. Suzume's Door Locking will screen the film in early 2023 in the States and other, actually worldwide, I think is what the
Except for Asia, I think.
worldwide except for Asia, because it comes out late this year in Japan.
Correct.
So, really looking forward to that. If you don't know anything about the movie, Suzume's Door Locking is from the director Shinkai, who did Your Name, Weathering with You, 5 centimeters per second, and I forget what else. So, looking forward to watching his next film. The light novel Arya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russia, or in Russian, sorry, not in Russia, in Russian, will be getting a manga adaptation which will launch in October on Magazine Pocket. So that's pretty neat. Duel Masters, which we both looked up before this, and we're like, what in the ever-living fucking shit? Like, it was uncanny valley of how familiar it looked, but also just not knowing what the fuck it was.
I'm still convinced it never came out in the U.S. because I have never seen anything like it.
Anywho, it's getting a new anime and new manga.
Ooh, boy. Hopefully new card games, too, because, God, those cards look like utter trash.
I don't know where it is, but, like, I know this looks familiar.
I think you're confusing it with other things.
No, I know I've seen this. I know... Okay, it's the video games that I've seen. The fucking
okay,
GBA
maybe the video games. Yeah, maybe the video games. But I swear the card, like, as someone who growing up was an avid collector of trading cards with Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, like I did a little bit of Digimon too. I think like the original Digimon was coming out. Like I do not remember Duel Masters. No.
I do.
Lies.
Like, it's one of those, like, uncanny valley of where the fuck have I seen this? I don't know. It's getting a new anime and new manga. I think we said this on the show 2 weeks ago that it was getting a season 2, but now it's got a date. Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Time season 2 is debuting October 9th. Good for you, you horny bastards.
I was gonna say it's just for horny people. So
there you go.
You get another horny show. There you go.
Again, we don't kink shame. Okay.
No.
It is what it is. Crunchyroll will stream. So this is just basically Crunchyroll coming out and saying, "Hey, we've got these seasons, like the rights to these seasons, because at this point, between them, High Dive, Netflix, and Disney Plus, it's like a fucking free for all of who's gonna get what now." But
which if Disney Plus lays their grimy hands on
Disney
anything
Plus.
right now, it's going into fucking prison, locked
Disney,
in a basement somewhere.
I'll see you on Friday, Disney, but fuck you.
I'll see you in hell.
AKA
Florida in the summer. Ugh.
God, yeah. Crunchyroll will stream Shangri-La Frontier, Love Season 2, Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro Season 2, which I know you and I are both excited about. Nagatoro Season 2. Yeah. Yes. Did I ever show you the print that Drew sent me?
No. It's not going to help people listening.
He sent me a little print. If you're an audio listener, it's just a chibi version of Nagatoro. If you're watching on YouTube, here you go.
I feel like he sent this with me when I got my shirt, but I feel like you should have gotten this. It's Denji and Puchita. We can
swap on Friday if you want.
Oh, are we swapping?
We can.
Are we swapping personals?
Are we seeing people?
Are we? Is this allowed?
Are we touching butts? Who knows?
Well, always.
Anyway, Heart Gear manga's returns from its hiatus on August 17th. Black Channel Breaking the Walls ends. God, that's a title. Ends August 12th, and we'll get an anime on YouTube, which is the weirdest fucking thing. I don't know.
Is it like an anime, or is it just gonna be like a short short series
I don't know. From
animated.
what I read, it started in June and it's ending in August. So I'm wondering if it's since it's just so short that maybe it's just gonna get a small anime on YouTube.
Huh. All right.
So there's that. The director of Lop and Ocho episode of Star Wars Visions, Yuki Igarashi, established his Outline Anime Studio. Their first work is a music video for Gen Hoshino. So that's pretty neat. More anime studios means more people licensing work or getting work and hopefully being able to hire other people away from companies that overwork them. I don't know. That's still just
Spreading the
they
love.
gotta figure it out. Anywho,
yeah. Real quick, I looked up the director too. The director actually did by themselves, I think, the end credit for season 1, part 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen 2, which I was like, huh, that's pretty good. So if anyone doesn't remember, it's the one where they're kind of like color splashed, doing like the funky dancing. Yeah. So very talented, very colorful, very intriguing art too. Like I watched a bit of the music video they did, and it's very, very interesting. I like it. So we should expect, hopefully, maybe sometime late next year from this studio, potentially. Yeah. I mean, unless I don't know.
Mid to late next year. I don't know what the turnaround really is. It's just it depends on getting all the getting employees, etc.
Yeah,
it's a whole thing. Anywho, this one kind of made me sad because today I mentioned Shonen Jump had their Sunday issue or Sunday volumes come out today, or chapters come out today instead of yesterday. And I was like, where the fuck is Ruri Dragon? Well, Ruri Dragon is taking a 1-week hiatus due to the author's sudden illness. Hopefully the lad or madame or whomever is working on this or making this is feeling better. Because I'm actually really enjoying this manga. It's only 5 chapters in or something like that. And, it's wholesome as shit.
It is.
I'm really enjoying it.
And it's an intriguing take on mythical creatures in the human world. Yeah. I like the way that they're setting it up. It's a very intriguing, adorable slice of life. Yeah.
At this point, I don't know if I want to label it a slice of life or if it'll eventually turn actiony. But
is it a slice
of life?
Is it a slice of life or a life of slice? I thought you were gonna say life of slice for a second. I was like,
my dyslexia hasn't kicked in yet. Okay, come on, just give it time. Still got a few more announcements. We got the Black Clover manga will return on July 31st after its 3-month hiatus, and it'll start the final arc, which neato. I was gonna say I knew that it was like nearing the end. I thought it actually had ended, but I guess it didn't. So that's something to look forward to if you're a Black Clover fan. More of that to come at the end of the month, and then we got 6 more, I think, or 5 more. I don't know. Who cares? Endo and Kobayashi Live, the latest on Tsundere Villainous Leisolet Lot. I don't know. Is an anime. It's beginning in January 2023. A manga that's ending in its next chapter is going to be No You,
yeah.
No You. I don't know. My pronunciations are shit, so I apologize. It's just I'm gonna bumble and tumble my way through it. No You Girl manga will end next chapter. The Tunnel to Summer, The Exits of Goodbyes anime movie opens in Japan September 9th. Tower of God.
That's our birthday, September 9th.
Oh, happy early birthday. What do you want, a cookie?
I want to watch The Tunnel of Summer, The Exit of Goodbyes.
Well, too fucking bad. You have to be in Japan.
No!
Tower of God is going on indefinite hiatus due to the SIU's. I don't know if it's supposed to pronounce SIU's. I don't know. SIU's health condition. So I think it said that they just released chapter 550, and it is now on a indefinite hiatus. So hope they feel better. And our last announcement for the day: Jump Festa 2023 is scheduled for December 17th and 18th, which that's such a weird. I don't understand if it's just like Jump Festa is like, hey, this is what we're talking about in 2023, but it's 2020, the end of 2022. I don't know. Like
it must be like a hey, here's everything that's coming out in 2023. Like here's a preview of 2023. This is what
we're working on, etc. This is what you can look forward to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. those are our new announcements and dates for the week, which, God, there's a lot of them. Anything else that stands out to you? Any last comments there before we hop into our last story today?
I don't think so because we touched on One Piece
I feel
coming
like we
back.
talked about them as they came.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I'm really excited. I am a big Black Clover fan. I'm behind on the anime and have not even picked up any of the volumes or read any chapters of the manga, but I'm excited to hear that they're into the final arc because that is a very enjoyable new gen Shonen Jump show.
not caught up to date with everything? What are you, a
I
fake
know.
fan?
I have the fakest of fans, especially since I haven't read it. And I admitted to it too. I didn't even like try to pretend like I did. I was like straight
Uh,
up like have not even
yeah,
touched a single volume. But
yeah.
no, it's fantastic. And I felt like an idiot last week remembering back, and we were talking in our Discord with one of our favorite peeps, Stead, about shows,
Mm-hmm.
and he mentioned Black Clover, and I was like, God, I'm a dumbass. Why did I say JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? I should have just said Black Clover. That's like the easiest pick for the best of the new big three.
Yeah.
Black Clover, like
Shout out
easy,
to you,
easy.
Stead.
I
You're the
just
homie.
yeah,
We
thanks,
appreciate you.
Ted. Thanks for making me look like a dum dum. But
Yeah, I appreciate you even more now.
yeah, of course, it's good.
I mean, I'm an
Don't
idiot
worry.
for not mentioning it too, so.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot for people to make me feel like a dum dum because I can do that on my own pretty regularly.
Hey, you two, me three.
Oh my,
Yeah.
we're so alike. It's
Anywho,
astounding.
we're gonna hop into our last news story because I don't know if we really want to discuss a lot of this or not at all. But our last news story for the day, My Hero Academia season 6 episode 1 will actually premiere July 24th at Hero Fest 2022 in Japan. That's insane.
Yeah,
That is over a month before it premieres on TV. Like,
that's not over. That's not over a month. That's like 2 months, two and a half months.
oh shit,
July
you're right. It is
24th. Yeah,
October. I
because
keep thinking
it's
that
gonna
it
come out in
starts
October.
September. Yeah, I keep thinking it's
Yeah,
September. Yeah, that's 2 fucking months early. Like, holy
yeah,
shit.
it's crazy.
That just makes me feel like, what do they have up their sleeves? Like, is it just like a
So
is it just a boneyard crew that's just doing what they can to start the season, and then eventually, when the season starts, like they get a full production crew on it?
So, well, to respond to your question first, I don't know what studio's animating it, the new season. I'm assuming it's the same from
I'll
the
look it up.
previous ones.
Just you continue.
So that could be a factor in it. But I think I alluded to this either
Studio
last week or the
Bones,
week.
which they've done every other season.
Okay, all right, but are they doing anything this season
I'll double check.
or?
You continue.
Yeah. I think I alluded to this either last episode or the episode before, but I am not surprised that shows coming out in the fall are not like heavily advertising, if not dropping little teaser shit already, because that season's gonna be stacked. I mean, top to bottom, there's a ton of good shows, both old ones coming back and new ones from last year and into this year that are continuing on too. We've got Bleach, we've got Chainsaw Man, we've got My Hero, we've got To Your Eternity, we've got um Uzaki-chan, which that's just a personal
No,
one for
no,
me.
no, no. Get the fuck
That's
out of
just
here.
me.
Get
That's
out of
just me.
here.
I love it. It's adorable. Shut up.
Whatever.
Um
You're the party of
but
one.
like I'm not alone on this. There's others like me, I swear.
Okay, weirdo.
I feel like the studios are, especially with, again, it's high competition now, right? You have the Crunchyroll Funimation merger, so you're reducing the amount of people that need to go to multiple sites and have to pick and choose. Granted, you have Haidai now with Sentai Films basically controlling that entire streaming service, so still have to deal with that if you're an avid anime watcher. But I think now shows are really going to start this early competition of like, let's see who can get out the gate the fastest before the full season's coming out. Like who can generate the most hype from your casual fans to your avid watchers, but prior to the season even beginning. And you had Chainsaw Man basically for the last year and a half, really, like dropping trailers, dropping small tidbits here and there, going to expos, making some announcements. Like they've been doing a lot of marketing. So they've been generating a ton of hype. Let alone just the success of the manga too. But like My Hero, what? Yeah, they're popular, but they could easily get overshadowed by Bleach and Chainsaw Man. Like it's I wouldn't be surprised really. So what do they have to do? Let's just premiere the first episode early. Let's get this shit out the door fast, get in front of everyone, and start generating our own hype now. We've got a battle against the others. So
Yeah.
am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised in the slightest. But do I think it's a good move? Yeah, it's going to be determined. Like,
Yeah.
that's such a strong push to just be like, fuck it. 2.5 months before the season actually is going to air, we're going to show our first episode. Because you could fall flat on your face if you don't set up this season on the most perfect of notes. You could set yourself way behind. I mean, you could immediately stutter and falter at the gate. Like you might not even get off the starting line.
Yeah.
So it's a huge risk. I guess we'll have to wait about another week until it drops and see what happens. But
I mean,
I think it's a sign of things to come in the future, though. Honestly,
it's a sign of things to come in regards to just like, hey, who can get out the gate fastest? It's just my worry is what the quality of this is going to be, and if it's going to be different from the actual TV premiere. If they're going to change anything, they see fan reactions to just like this or that. If they're going to be like, okay, this didn't hit quite as well as we thought it would, let's switch this up, that up, etc.
yeah.
I knew Studio Bones was like a good studio. I knew that they did good work. I did not realize how much they actually do, and they don't have anything this season outside the OVA that came out in June. But they have 2 shows next season, which is My Hero Academia Season 6 and Mob Psycho 100 Season 3. I forgot that they do Mob. They've also, like, in the past, just if in case you don't know, they're actually, like, they've worked on some shit that I absolutely adore. Like, the last year, they did Skate the Infinity. Phenomenal fucking show if you have not watched it. That show is an anime-ass anime. In all the best regards. It is so great. They did Bungo Stray Dogs. They did Carol and Tuesday. I said Mob Psycho already. They did Blood Blockade Battlefront seasons 1 and 2. Like, they've done a lot of shit. So I mean, it's not a matter of like if they can get it done. It's just a matter of when. And it's just like if they had this season, or if they had this episode teed up this early, I'm wondering how much more that they already have and why they waited till like October in order to like release this season, because like we're not even going to be halfway through this season. Hell, fucking, we're not even going to get Danmachi season 4 until July 27th, and you're going to release episode 1 of My Hero Academia season 6 3 days before that? Like, why not just start it this season? Like, is it truly a staffing thing? Like, that to me is where I still just lack information and lack the knowledge of like how the industry really works. But it's interesting that they are airing it so early in the regard of like, hey, summer just started and you're gonna kind of just throw this out there for fans who are going to this one specific expo. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. I'm excited for season 6, despite how bad season 5 was in my opinion. If you need to get caught up on My Hero Academia, just know that season 5, it's not the greatest. So
it's a bit painful.
Yeah. But one last segment I want to do, and I'm going to spring upon you at the very last second.
My favorite.
This is just something I want to just, for my sake and your sake, just to keep us honest and not necessarily honest, but like I want to talk about the standout episode of the week for what you watched this week. What is the one show that had the standout episode this week? And if you want me to start and you want to think about it, you can. I can
start.
definitely start. I go between wanting to say the season finale of Komi Can Communicate season 2 or season or episode 2 of Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. The only reason I'm probably going to swing to Komi is because I know you have not watched Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting yet. Which by all means, like, that episode has solidified that I'm going to be finishing the show. Like that, like I watched that episode last night and it was a beautiful episode. It was great. It was a very, like, this is going to be a very special slice of life, weirdly action show. But I want to get into Komi Can't Communicate season 2, and by all means, spoilers ahead. They ended it with White Day, which, if you don't know what White Day is the month after Valentine's Day, in which Valentine's Day in Japan, girls usually give chocolates to their friends or the boys that they like, and each chocolate kind of has a different meaning, etc. It's really funny and cute, and god damn it, why wasn't that adapted here in the United States? That would have been fucking great. Instead of having to buy chalky ass fucking candy for your goddamn classmates who don't respect you.
Oh boy, I've gotten my 50th Kit Kat. How much fun this is.
Kit Kats are great. It's just the fucking Almond Joys you get in there, and you're like, god damn it, who likes Almond Joys in this day and age?
What child buys Almond Joys to begin with?
They don't buy them. I'm sure it's like the leftover candy from fucking Halloween that their parents are like, you didn't eat this yet? Well, just bring it to fucking Valentine's Day. That way we don't have to get a 50-pound bag of candy again. I don't know. But, God, that was a tangent. Komi Can Communicate ends the season with White Day. It's adorable as shit, but then it, like, transitions, like, to the end of the episode transitions to, like, them going into the next semester, next year, in which they're all in different classrooms, and them kind of hoping, like, are we going to be in the same class? Like, everything is up in the air. Like, what the fuck is going to happen? We don't know. And it ends with them saying to each other, like, let's have another good school year together, in which you get the fact that they are in the same classroom for the next full year. But the thing I want to touch upon, and not really spoil, is that in that, like, for those who haven't read the manga, in that trail of just, like, them walking up to the school to find their class and find out where they need to go or what classroom they're in and, like, go to school, they pan over so many of the characters that are going to be introduced next season, whenever the next season gets adapted. And just those little fucking Easter eggs to me just made my skin just stand, like, the hairs on my arms and legs stand up in excitement, because I thought for some stupid reason that they'd get to this point by the end, like, they'd get to, like, hey, we're introducing this one specific character, and end it with their kind of, like, transformation at the end of the season. I thought we would get there by now.
Okay, yeah.
I thought that that's where season 2 would end, but the fact that they didn't is, like, it's fine. I really enjoyed season 2 overall as a whole, but the fact that they teased that character and more characters that are coming next season to me was just, such a delight. It was so good. I can't wait. So hopefully that bought you enough time for you to figure out what was your standout episode of the week.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitive. Licorice Recoil, episode 3.
Yep.
Boy, oh boy. I mean, I was pulled in the first episode. I know you were like, it was good, but, you know, it was like, it wasn't anything like too fantastic.
I needed another episode, and then the second episode is what I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. For me, I was like, nope, I'm hook, line, sinker. I'm in on this. Episode 2 was fantastic. Episode 3, though, I'm really shocked at how fast the character development like the characters have been progressing. And you're seeing it sort of unfold in a natural way too. It was fantastic. It was so well done. They basically, the main character, Chisada, I can't remember. She's the very bubbly, peppy one. Chisato. She has to go in for her physical at the main headquarters, so the other girl tags along who got demoted to her team. And yes, and basically Takina is like hell-bent on trying to get back into the main, like, Licorice Recoil group, the DA, yeah. And she's like, well, this is my opportunity to do so, and immediately finds out, no, that's not going to happen. and is sort of distraught over it, loses all hope. And Chisada is like, "Hey, listen, you don't let one thing define you. Okay, there's going to be a lot of sad moments in life, but the easiest thing to do now is to just pick yourself up and find what's going to make you happy next. Like, you don't have to make any decisions now. You don't have a path that you need to take right now. Like, nothing's laid out in stone for you. You can decide what you want to do, basically. Like,
But also, it was more so that I think the message of like, hey, why spend your time and kill yourself over something that doesn't want you when there are people right in front of you that do want you and have a place for you.
yeah, yeah, it was like both of those messages baked in, because she was in a sort of roundabout way saying like, hey, the DA has told you flat out they don't want you, but I have constantly told you that we would love you to stay with us and work with us. And but she's like, hey, I know it's your dream though, but just know like things change, and that doesn't mean that it's for better or for worse. That's just kind of how life is. And
Yeah.
then she beats the living shit out of her former teammates. And I'm like, hell yeah, what a great way to end. But like that, the small bits of character development that, again, like it's fairly quick for the fact that it's episode 3 and we're already seeing Takino's character evolve pretty rapidly. It doesn't feel like it's purposely rushed. It's very natural. It's
Yeah.
got a nice flow to it. But overall, this anime is absolutely blowing everything out of the water in terms of my expectations, what I was like hoping to get from it. Like, just 10 out of 10 across the board right now. Couldn't speak highly of it. It's fantastic. I was going between this one and Overlord, and then realized like Overlord was more, there was like good final, like we're getting some really juicy bits coming out now, with like seeing some of the
Yeah.
characters finally reveal themselves with like who they're siding with and what faction they're going with, and like for what reasons we still don't really know, but we're starting to see that development. And I'm like, ooh, this is gonna get really interesting for like how the different kingdoms and noble families are going to play out. So that one is more just like future plot progression. So I was like, it's interesting for me. But standout though, it had to be Licorice Recoil. Go give this show a watch on Crunchyroll. 10 out
Yeah.
of 10.
Absolutely. And thank you all for joining us this week. Mr. Magically Average, or Marvelously Average, and I need to talk if we are going to be back next week or not, because we will both be out of town, as we hinted, in the same exact location on vacation. So we don't know if we'll be
Hey.
back or not. We might figure something out. We probably won't. Who knows?
If we do anything, it might be something really quick and random. But
Yeah.
yeah, not a traditional, like it's now traditional Baka Bites episode. So, but keep
Yeah.
your eyes out on social media. We'll be posting.
We'll give you an update as to what we'll do next week. But if you don't want this conversation to end, you can head over to @Baka&Co on Twitter, and you can join our Discord to give us, mean tweet at us, tell us why we're wrong, give us a sweet, or you can give us some sweet feedback. It is what it is. But yeah, we'll be back in next week in some capacity. It might just be super late, or we just might not be back at all. Just keep watching. We'll be back sometime. So until next time, Spark Triumph. We'll see you then. Bye.